Good morning, Zimbabwe, and welcome to On the Spot, a program that takes a look at the headlines in today's media. My name is Yvonne Mchaka, coming to you from Zimbabwe Daily. Here are the stories making the headlines. Government terminates 6 road contracts. Zimra targets United States dollar tax evaders. ED's son eyes top ZANU-PF post. Farmers urged to ensure livestock and the viability of wind energy explode. In the region, toothless Sadak faces irrelevant. And now for these stories in detail. The Citizens Coalition for Change has condemned the murder of Elvis Nyati, who was stoned and burnt to death in Diepsloot, Johannesburg yesterday. The Triple C says his murder was avoidable and horrific. May Elvis Nyati's soul rest in peace. Government has terminated contracts for 6 local contractors who have failed to deliver under the Emergency Road Rehabilitation Program Phase 2 in the Midlands Province. In an interview, Midlands Provincial Roads Engineer Dennis Mufurira confirmed the cancellation of contracts awarded to 6 local contractors for failing to do road rehabilitation works. Some of the contractors stand accused of failing to submit basic paperwork such as road designs, which require government approval. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission has denied claims it gave ZANU-PF candidates a voters' roll with color pictures ahead of the 26 March by-elections. A report by the Newsday on the 6th of April 2022 reported Triple C being a North legislator Prince Tubeko Sibanda as saying ZANU-PF's Victoria Falls local authority candidates in the by-elections, Musa Ncube and Kudakwashi Mavula Mtaka, were given copies of the voters' roll with color images of the voters. However, ZEC has categorically rejected the claims and described the allegations as outright malicious. The Zimbabwe Revenue Authority ZIMRA has launched an operation targeting companies not paying taxes in United States dollars despite selling their goods and services in foreign currency. Section 4A of the Finance Act and Section 38.6 of the Value Added Tax Act requires traders to pay taxes in the currency of the transaction. In a statement yesterday, Zimra said it had noted with concern that some businesses were paying taxes in local currency while they charged their goods and services in United States dollars. Energy and Power Development Minister Jemo Soda says the government will continue exploring the viability of wind energy as the country targets 100 megawatts by 2025. Zimbabwe is targeting to produce 2,000 megawatts from renewable energy sources by 2030, a position the country also presented to the COP26 in Glasgow, United Kingdom, which is in line with its pledge to reduce greenhouse emissions by 2030. And on that energy note, ZESA Executive Chairman Dr. Sydney Gata has warned of severe power cuts in the near future, arguing the non-cost reflective tariff continues to erode the viability of the power utility. Zimbabwe is already facing power cuts, also known as load shedding, sometimes lasting for more than 8 hours per day due to subdued electricity production and a shortage of foreign currency to import. Zimbabwe needs about 1,600 megawatts, but generates an average of 1,100 megawatts from its two major power plants and imports from South Africa, Zambia, and Mozambique to narrow the deficit. The power cuts would put more pressure on Zimbabwean businesses already faced with inflationary pressures and foreign currency exchange rate distortion that has resulted in huge disparity between the official and black market exchange rates. The government said it has managed to cap the spread of novel coronavirus in schools as the 2022 first term ended this Thursday. Previously, local health experts have argued against the opening of schools in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, saying schools may become super spreaders. But Primary and Secondary Education Ministry spokesperson Taunga Nandoro said the ministry drew lessons from last term when hundreds of learners contracted COVID-19. Stanbic Bank Zimbabwe has encouraged farmers to insure their livestock to guard against potential losses resulting from the effects of the climate change and other natural causes. In 2020, 200 cattle are said to have succumbed to anthrax, while hundreds more died due to January disease that hit many parts of the country. January disease is still a cause of concern countrywide, with parts of Mashonaland West and Masvingo the hardest hit. The Cross-Border Traders Association (CBTA) and the FBC Bank have entered into a deal that will see the financial institution issuing Mastercards to informal traders. CBTA Chief Executive Kila Zivu said the new facility will reduce the risk of robberies targeting the vendors when traveling across the country's borders to restock. Teachers' unions have accused the government of falsifying the Zimbabwe Schools Examination Council (ZIMSEC) 2021 advanced level pass rate to make it appear as if the country's education sector is in a healthy state. ZIMSEC announced on Tuesday that the country recorded an 84.67% pass rate for A-level examinations, which was over 3% higher compared to the previous year. However, Progressive Teachers Union of Zimbabwe President Takawafira Joe said that the 3.6% increase does not reflect the true picture on the ground. Moving on, the cold storage company CSC is set to reopen after the Easter holidays for the first time in 2 decades, with the company hoping to generate $50 million annually through exports once operations are in full throttle. Zimbabwe's biggest meat processor and marketer, is being revitalized after the government signed a $400 million joint venture farming concession agreement in 2019 with Boosted Beef Zimbabwe, a United Kingdom based investor. Under the new setup, the company has changed name to CSC Boosted Beef Zimbabwe, and the investor will take over and manage cold storage company ranches for an initial period of 25 years. Moving on to Africa, Southern Africa Development Company SADC member states are now beginning to join other regional blocs, a move that political and economic analysts say was an indication that the regional body was losing its relevance. SADC is made up of 16 member states: Angola, Botswana, Comoros, Democratic Republic of Congo, Eswatini, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Seychelles, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Zambia, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Seychelles, and Eswatini are also members of the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. Other countries have since joined other regional blocs. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe and Zambia are working to establish a joint agro-industrial park which will improve the availability of goods and services for the bilateral market and broaden intra-regional trade of manufactured products. The proposed project is being supported by the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, the African Development Bank, AFDB, and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA. Looking at the global issues, the United Nations General Assembly voted Thursday to suspend Russia from the World Organization's leading human rights body over allegations of horrific rights violations by Russian soldiers in Ukraine, which the United States and Ukraine have called tantamount to war crimes. It was a rare, if not unprecedented, rebuke against one of the 5 veto-holding members of the United Nations Security Council. And on to showbiz. The showbiz industry has fully opened, bringing a sigh of relief to artists who had been financially squeezed by lockdowns imposed to curb the spread of COVID-19. The current trend in the showbiz sector demonstrates an industry that has regained its spark as it is now back to business for promoters and artists. For promoters, they appear to be on a recovery path as a number of foreign acts have already performed in the last months, with many set to headline a number of concerts. And now we take a look at one of those stories that we kept our news bulletin with, and that is the story that Mnangagwa's son stopped ZANU-PF Youth League post. So President Mnangagwa's son, Kunakwashe David, has reportedly submitted his curriculum vitae to contest at the ZANU-PF 7th Youth National Conference set for 4 to 8 May. Kuda is among several other children of top ZANU-PF officials, including Justice Minister Ziyambi Ziyambi and Police Commissioner General Godwin Matanga's son, who are eyeing top ZANU-PF Youth League posts. Midlands Youth Chairperson Ernest Dzoro confirmed this, that he had received Kuda's CV for the youth elections. Yesterday, we also read the news that Robert Mugabe Jr. was eyeing positions in ZANU-PF, and that there was talk among the party members that they should allow him to contest for whatever position he desired. And that brings us to the end of Today in the Headlines, a program that we bring you right here on Zimbabwe Daily. Thank you so much for tuning in, and may you have a wonderful rest of day.